I definitely appreciate all the people that I coach because like it goes both ways, you know. It's like we are both trying to analyze. It's not just me telling them like here do here play this card. Yeah, it's like between the both of us, we try to have this synergy of we discuss the potential plays. We try to decide and analyze why one play is slightly better than the other. Why one play is definitely the one that gives us the worst chance at winning or the best chance at winning. So in this like discussion and talks we have, I also learn from them.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Faded Town podcast. We are the #1 Pokemon podcast in the world. Again, check those facts. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, because if you haven't, are you really watching serious content? We got an awesome guest for you today. He's a former member of Team Sacker Scoop. You may know him as Tablemon. He's everyone's favorite player, the kid next door, Pablo Meza. What's up? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Of course.
It's been a bit complicated to schedule, but I've been really busy in July.
Hey, well, it's that time of the year, right? It's Worlds. Everyone's grinding. Everyone's talking to their favorite player to try to get coaching and win. You know, we fit you in.
we got you. We got him. Yeah. So how's your day going?
Good. I'm actually dressed in soccer uniform because I went to play soccer earlier.
Good. Okay. Got to get that. Got to get that workout, that exercise.
Exactly. I had my friends over for a little bit of worlds testing in the morning, and then we went to play soccer.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Good day.
Who are you testing with nowadays?
Well, my two local friends.
You're back home in Mexico right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Mexico. One of them, you might know him, Juan Espinola. He's gotten stipend a few times. He's the only other Mexican player that has actually made it to day 2.
Okay.
In the last, since the day 2 system started. So yeah, he doesn't get to travel a lot or anything. He only plays locally for the most part, but he did go to Dallas this year.
Well, you're saying that he made an automatic day 2?
No.
He made it from day 1 to day 2. Yeah. Okay. Well, we got one of our buddies, Miguel. He's also a Mexican player. Although he collected all of his points in the United States and lives in the United States, but he still was on the Mexico
on the Latin America.
The Latin America point system. So he'll be in Worlds.
I gotta listen to that all the time. I'm in Worlds. You did it, Zach.
So he'll be. You
had to get feels like a gray area.
It's like you had to get 100 points. Get out.
200. Come on.
250, I think. Right?
Oh, 250. My bad.
Yeah, we went to a cup the other week. I'm like, hey Miguel, you win right here. I think you qualify for next year.
Oh my gosh.
Shut up.
Anyway, so we kind of ask this question every time. As a top player in the game, what do you do to sustain your level of play? Like, what do you do outside to finance it and everything like that? Or the majority, we seem to get the same answer. All they do is Pokemon, coaching, etc.
Yeah, that applies to me as well right now, or for the last 2 years, a little bit more, 2 years and a half, I guess.
Okay.
I've been doing this full time. My main source of income, the way I can pay rent and everything, is definitely coaching. I've been, especially like I said, July has been. I thought it was going to be the least busy month of the year because of PTGO not having unified minds, and then people not wanting to test, or it being a little bit more complicated with the actual physical cards. But it turned out to be the opposite. It turned out to be my busiest month. That's why I've been kind of I'm not posting as many videos. I didn't get to stream a single day, I think, in July, because I literally have 9-hour days of coaching. Monday through Thursday, it's 9-hour days, and then Friday, that's where it's only 6 hours. Yeah, but only.
Oh yeah.
So
full time. That's a full time job.
It's good though.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, exactly. It's a full time job. I mean, the way the question was how do I like keep the skill high or the top level plays. I mean, I definitely appreciate all the people that I coach because like it goes both ways, you know. It's like we are both trying to analyze. It's not just me telling them like here play this card. Yeah, it's like between the both of us, we try to have this synergy of we discuss the potential plays. We try to decide and analyze why one play is slightly better than the other, why one play is definitely the one that gives us the worst chance at winning or the best chance at winning. So in this like discussion and talks we have, I also learn from them, and like this self I don't know, self kind of like not kind of like a feedback loop in which we talk a lot about very peculiar situations that come up. Yeah, so we don't really grind 5 games in 1 hour. Yeah, we get 2 or 3 really good ones where we really take a look at every situation. Or sometimes we even only get to play 1 game. But that's because the game was so complicated and there were so many options. Yeah, so I think all this like analysis, and I hope I provide like a high level analysis. I've always been a very analytical person. Right. It's the both of us. Yeah, it's like hopefully they're learning from me, and also I'm 9 hours throughout the day thinking very critically and very specifically and very strategically about each specific situation. Yeah, so perhaps I don't get to grind a matchup 50 games, but I get to play 5 very high quality games where I took a look at so many different little things, yeah, to consider for what I bring to tournaments.
Well, that's good. Like that. That's good. Like that actually answers my next question. I was going to say, does it affect your ability to test? But it seems like you putting in all this work, teaching other people, keeps you sharp. It's just like I mean, just how teachers like they're always constantly learning and evolving their methods and stuff. So you're seeing the game 9 hours a day, every day. You're still putting in the same plays that you would do normally if you were testing with other people. So it's no, that's good. That's good. I mean,
I think,
like
keeps you up to date.
I was gonna say, I think like out of everyone we've talked to, like I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone, but like when I ask them this question and they're just coaches or whatever, it's like I'm just a coach. But like when you answer it, it's like I'm working 9 hours a day and I'm learning from it, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, this is great. Like you give it such a better perspective when it comes to like an outsider's view, because a lot of people listen to this and they hear I'm a Pokemon coach, and that's all. Usually, that's all people say.
Yeah,
like,
they don't understand exactly.
Maybe once or twice a week or something. But when you sit there and you're like, 9 hours a day. This is a busy month, and I'm analyzing everything, and I'm getting as much from it as I'm giving. And it's like, oh, like it's very eye-opening, and it's like, oh, this is a great opportunity for him, and he is taking advantage of every like so-called living the dream as a Pokemon master. He's taking it very professionally, I would say.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely like I'm very conscious about my expenses, like the way of living, the being able to travel and everything. So I know that in order for me to be able to do that in a consistent manner, in a responsible manner, yeah, because if I were 20 years old doing this, I'd probably have a different perspective. Right. Yeah, but now I'm 31 years old, I have different responsibilities, different approaches, and I know like there's a part of trust, right? Because the person who's reaching out for the coaching, yeah, they don't just want to play games with me, right? They want to learn from me. So I need to be able to provide that. So it's not just enough to just like play some games or make some comments. Like I really try my best, yeah. And every session ends up being very unique, yeah. But I really try my best to give as much feedback as I can and try different approaches, because also every person that I coach, you know, whom most are younger kids, yeah, I'd say it's like 80% juniors, 15% seniors, and like a few masters. kids are also like they're like sponges. Yeah, they're anything you say, and especially because in the very beginning, it's like it's table money, right? Eventually, there's a trust built, and it's like I'm Pablo, their friend.
Right.
Yeah, but in the beginning, a few of them are a bit starstruck. Yeah, so they, this is the best deck, then they'll follow along. Yeah, but I think it's more important not just to tell them what to do, but to teach them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm essentially a teacher, and then there's also the part of like how I charge. Like I know that I need to provide that value, right? And just like charge a certain amount because that's the market. Like I try to charge fairly, and I try to offer back what I'm charging. So it's worth it for the both of us.
That's good. Right. Your knowledge is your product, so you want to give them the most value out of their dollar. That's giving back to the community.
Yeah, and when we're at regionals, I can tell you're very invested in these people you coach or these kids you coach because, like, I'll see you in between rounds. Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, a second, my junior over here is killing it. I gotta go. Yeah. And I'm like, go do what you gotta do, man. Like, I get it. And like, hey, I can't hang out. My junior's killing it. My senior, you are invested, and when they do well, it makes you feel good because I can tell by the way you react at tournaments, and it's like I don't see all these people that say they coach and they're coaches, and I don't know exactly what they, but when I see them at tournaments, I don't see the same thing. Like I can go talk to them and there's no problems. To talk to you, you're like, I'll talk to you, but right now, my junior, and I'm like I could tell, like, if I didn't talk to you before this, like, I know you're a coach.
Yeah.
Anyone else that was on the podcast, I had no clue. Zero clue that they're coaching or anything. I had no clue. I was very, like, when I started realizing all these players are coaches, I'm like, oh, I thought Pablo was the only one. I was like, Pablo's the only one doing it full time. Because the way you act around, it might be older and you might be more mature than these other players, but
I think that affects a little bit.
I think so too.
No,
there's nothing wrong with any approach, right?
No, I think they're fine.
This is mine.
I just see your approach. Maybe it's because I'm older. I see it more as you are taking it very, and you're giving the same, and you feel very proud when you see your work as working. Where like I can't speak for the other people, but I personally don't see that from whoever else is coaching.
Well, anybody watching this video, don't let that stray you away from getting coaching from anybody else. But Pablo, you are a good friend of ours, and I definitely, anybody that does watch us and is looking for coaching, I recommend check him out and hit him up. So we're talking about you traveling for Pokemon. So how does that affect your daily life? Because you travel a lot. You go to almost every event, right? Like you were saying, you were trying to hit every single North American event this year. And you're traveling from Mexico. Like I've been to Mexico a couple times. I know the flights out of there are cheap, but when you're inside, like when you're going from, like, say, St. Louis to Denver to wherever, I'm just saying in theory, like how does that affect your finances? Like you said you had to be more responsible, but can you give us a little more detail?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been 2 years, like I said, of this full time. So in each year I took kind of like a different approach. In the first year when I was part of Soccer Scoop, I was definitely very encouraged and very motivated. Partly because of the very generous sponsorship from the team.
From Trump. You could say that. From Trump.
To compete, to like be at every event. Yeah. And I was also like, it was I was doing this full time. Yeah. What I've created up to this point, like I'm definitely in a very stable situation right now. But in the beginning, I was improvising. Right. It's like, I was like, well, this will get me a few extra dollars this month. I'll do this. Yeah. Or now this is, and yeah, but now, or rather that first year, I was definitely very motivated, and I went to pretty much every regional. I went to every international. I got second place in Australia. And then and then I won like Vancouver regionals. I had a pretty good year.
Got top. That was when you got top 8 overall in worlds, correct?
That was when I got top 8 worlds. Yeah, like that also motivated me a lot. Then I became part of Team Soccer Scoop, and then I went to every regional. So I did like a lot of travel. Yeah. And I was doing also a lot of coaching, and I was investing basically 100% of my time into Pokemon. But for example, the travel, because of how my job works right now, like I get paid by the hour.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't have paid time off. If I don't coach 1 hour, I don't get paid for that hour.
Right.
Yeah. So every trip I take, right? Every if I travel on Thursday or on Friday, those are days that I can't coach, and therefore, however much the trip costs, like it doesn't cost more because I'm not coaching, but it's also money I'm not generating.
Right.
Because I'm doing that. So this year I definitely took it a little bit more. I took that more into account. Yeah. As also I got busier with coaching, I had to find a balance. Yeah, because it's not like I needed to earn more money, but it was sometimes like I needed to balance the burnout of travel as well.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the 2017-2018 season, I had like a section of like between February and June, I was not home any weekend, I think. Or if I was playing League Cup Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
So it was like my job was like 7 days a week.
Yeah,
because travel took up the whole day.
Right.
Usually I always have to like there's no accessible direct flights to like Collinsville from Mexico.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like the travel takes a toll. Then spending Saturday playing, spending hopefully Sunday playing, and then traveling back on Monday. So that's at least Friday and on Monday where I couldn't coach. For the most part, if it's Monday, I arrived at 5 p.m. I was pretty tired and I didn't want to coach for the next 4 hours, you know? So I started to, this season, the 2018-2019 season, I took it a bit more slowly. And my plan, was to plan to travel once a month, right? Rather than to every single event, and then prioritize the internationals over the regionals in that particular month. Yeah, so then that's how I started my season. I went to Philadelphia, I went to Memphis. There were pretty okay tournaments. And I was in a pretty good position to, if I got any points in Brazil, I could get the stipend. But then I forgot to write down my supporters in Brazil.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. Oh my gosh, that feels so bad.
That's actually
since then,
so
at every event, everyone, well, not everyone, but many people are like, "Did you write your supporters this time?" And I'm like, "Well, there was online deck list, so I couldn't forget them." Yeah, so that happened, right? And that stipend for Australia, and then I was like, okay, since I'm gonna miss the stipend to Australia, which is also the most expensive IC to get to from Mexico, I'm gonna take it chill, for this quarter.
Yeah.
Because since I'm not going to Australia, I won't be able to compete for the Berlin Travel Award.
Right.
Maybe a stipend if I do well at the regional, but I'm gonna take it cool. I'm not gonna pressure myself into traveling more to compensate for that.
Right.
Yeah. And then I did okay at some events, and then I decided to go to an extra event in February in Costa Rica, because I was very in range of definitely the stipend with any points, and perhaps the travel award if I ended up winning the event. So then I got to pay to Rahul, but that was enough for the stipend. And then going to Germany with $1,000 for the stipend was definitely very accessible. Right. So then I knew that in that quarter, since I was going to Berlin, I could push really hard, and guarantee hopefully the travel award for North America and the travel award for Worlds. So it was like double trouble.
Right.
Yeah. So it was definitely worth it. Yeah. It's like still pushing every quarter. This quarter specifically, I've been taking it cool. This quarter specifically, I am going to push for the extra for the extra travel awards.
That's good.
And then it coincided with the fact that there started being a lot of special events in Central America, which to me that's much cheaper to get to than to the United States. Like $100 round trips to Guatemala, El Salvador. Yeah, so that's pretty accessible. And I can fly there at 5 p.m. and get there at 7 p.m. at night. So I can even coach in the morning. So it's also, that's a cost factor that comes into play. And then for whatever reason, Picarum clicked with me, and I got third place at Collinsville, and then like I got a lot of really good results, and I overachieved for the travel award to Germany. To North America. In Germany, I misplayed myself out of day 2. That was pretty sad.
Well, in Germany?
Yeah, Germany. In round 8, I had a play that I could have like reduced the opponent beating me in game 3, and for whatever reason, I was very emotional on the pressure, and the previous games had been like very unlucky or whatever. And for whatever reason, I got clouded and I didn't do it. And then he ended up getting the exact cards to beat me. I was like, oh, I should have done that. Yeah. And then round 9, I completely bricked on stream, and that was that was annoying. But yeah, it's like, it cost myself that, but I still had the trial award, so it was fine. And then this other quarter, I was like, okay, if I push for this one, since I didn't do that well in Berlin, I did get points, but I didn't do that well. I still need that little extra boost for to guarantee the day 2 for Worlds. So I'm gonna push a little bit more, this last month and a half, and hopefully that secures me the first travel award for the next season. So in a lapse of like 4 months, I was able to secure 3 travel awards. So it definitely made it worth it.
That's good.
Yeah.
How
On top of that, sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, how does the travel awards work with Latin America? Is it because I know it's top 16?
Oh no, it's top 8 for Worlds.
Top 8.
Yeah, for Worlds it's top 8.
Okay.
I ended up being first place.
You said you're in fifth place?
Award race. Fourth place.
Are you automatic day 2 at Worlds this year? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, in the end, it was like I invested X amount of money to travel. I went to like 7 countries within 4 months.
That's wild.
To play Pokemon.
That's wild.
It's wild, yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. I did get to do interesting stuff in some of them. Like I went to a Chelsea game on my way to Berlin. So yeah, with Joe from Unrevoke. So
I remember that.
I did a lot of cool things. Met a lot of very nice people.
His doppelganger.
Yeah, exactly.
What up? Oh yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, it was definitely worth it. Yeah, to like out of the whole season, I pushed for 4 months. I got 3 travel awards. I won a regional in Brazil. I got third place at another one. So it was definitely a very good way to close out a season that started with me not writing the supporters at the biggest tournament. So it's like, look at what happens when I do write my supporters.
Hey, we know you're a good player. You're
right.
Accidents happen.
So with all this travel, how does it affect your home life?
It definitely does in terms of like, well, first of all, my girlfriend, obviously, like we don't get to spend that many weekends together. Then just my overall fitness, my overall health. When I started Tailmon, I was like 30 pounds lighter now. I would, which is like, obviously there's a big, like it's my responsibility, right? The choices I make when I travel or whatever, but it's also like, it's so much easier to get like, in my mind, I need to pay the bills, so I'll do that extra hour of coaching instead of going to the gym.
Right.
Or I have very little time to cook, so I'll just order the food instead of cooking something healthier. Yeah, so it's definitely choices I've made. That's why cutting back on the travel was also important for me to like keep a bit of more control over those things. But yeah, that's been a big part. That's affected me, and that I'm trying to find the balance, right? And also motivation. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I miss Sunday footballs a lot, which means since like we have this rule, right? If you came last week and you can be a starter next week. So since I miss a lot of weekends, I stopped being a starter.
Damn.
So I love playing soccer. So the game only lasts 40 minutes, two 20-minute halves. So then I only was playing half. So I mean, it's little things, right? But that's, I guess, how it affects me.
Well, so far it seems like you're learning how to moderate it properly, you know, and I mean, recognizing that it was affecting you traveling so much and kind of moderating your travel. No, it seems like it's done well for you, but it really hasn't affected your top 16 race. So, you know, like you're still day 2 in Worlds. You're definitely a top contender, and you know we're excited to see how you you play this year. We'll be there to watch.
That's awesome. When you go, because you hit a lot of special events this year. You won the South Paulo regional at the end of the year.
Yeah, Sao Paulo.
Like going in, like how big was that? Like, I know those regionals. Was that the same weekend as another regional?
Santa Clara. Yeah, that was the same weekend as Santa Clara.
Okay, but
Sao Paulo was actually bigger than Santa Clara.
Was it? That's hilarious.
I think it was either a little under or a little over 600 people.
Still, dang, that's still.
Like the date had like 6 of us that ended up being top 8 of Latin America. So it was a really stacked tournament. Like top 8, I had to beat Gustavo Wada.
Oh, okay. See, because like people look at this and like, oh, like Sao Paulo, like how he won, but how hard it could have been. But I mean, when you say it like that, it's like he killed it.
No, like generally, you could tell, right? Like after that weekend happened, 4 out of 5 YouTubers were making Green's Registart videos.
Bruh.
No one was making Kiawe Registart videos. So there was definitely I noticed it. It's no big deal, right? But I definitely noticed how the US win had more weight than the Sao Paulo.
But
I agree. I see it. I was a fan. I played Greens at that event.
Same.
Like my list was like 2 cards off from Keon's list, and I was more a fan of that. But like going into that tournament, everyone hated it. And like then I see you win with the Jirachi build, and I'm like, oh, well, these people are right, you know. Like I had a big argument with Rukan about it, and he basically told me I sucked because I thought Green was good. Then you won, and he's like, well, Pablo won, and then Keon won. I was like, well, Keon won. What are you talking about? So, they're both good, all right?
They're both good. Yeah, they're both good.
Just leave us alone. But
they have different matchup spreads, but they're both good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but now that
I think yours is better in the mirror.
Yeah, but now that Marshado's rotating, you know, it's
well, the whole thing's crazy now. Let's get into that.
That was going to be our next topic. Let's go to Worlds. Worlds.
How do you feel about the rotation before Worlds? Do you care? Would you rather played it with?
I've been playing for 17 years. Right. Yeah, that's a lot of standard format changes.
Yes.
So it was surprising that they did it before Worlds, but it was surprising because it's new. Yeah, not because it was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Yeah, it's like every time for Worlds, there's a new set, and you have to put in the work, right?
Exactly.
With whatever card pool you have to put in the work. Yeah, so it's like last year people were freaking out about losing Sycamore and then. This year people are freaking out about losing Nespo, Ultra Ball, and Double Colorless. And next year people will be freaking out about losing whatever it is that we're going to be losing.
Cynthia, Lily.
Yeah. So it's like it happens every year. People will freak out. I think it's better to focus on adapting and learning the new format rather than focusing on what you're losing. Yeah,
right.
It's like, you can't change that, but you can start to learn the new format.
I always think it's super funny when people are like, there's no way that's rotating. Like, they're going to reprint it. I'm like, dude, no. It's going to rotate. Like, when VS Seeker was getting rotated, everyone was like,
reprint.
Dude, they're reprinting. There's no way we can play the game without VS Seeker. I'm like, no, that's not how this game works, guys. They just move on. You'll be fine. I promise. You'll learn to play without it.
When VS Seeker was first printed, for the longest time, it wasn't even played at all. Maybe because we were all bad.
Oh, dude, I think we were. I remember we put the deck, and we're like, that's good enough.
Yeah.
maybe one, too.
But yeah, it's like the game changes. The game evolves with every set and with every format change. You just, like, instead of focusing on freaking out about what is going to happen, well, make whatever you need to happen. Yeah. So that the Monday after NAIC, I was typing up new deck lists, trying out new things, and now we're in the final run for Worlds.
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting.
It is what it is. You don't really care. Like if it wouldn't have rotated, you're fine. If it rotated, it's fine.
It's a new set. It's
awesome.
New format. You just have to adapt, and like it doesn't help me win Worlds to freak out about there not being any Nest Ball or Ultra Ball.
Right.
Yeah. It does help me win Worlds if I look at the new cards and start trying out decks as soon as I have the time.
Right. So, what are your expectations for Worlds? Like, what do you expect to see? What do you not necessarily expect to play, but what do you think will be more popular versus stuff that you think will be kind of memey, like trying to get through a day one or just from a day two perspective?
How big is what happens day one affect what you're going to do day two?
Okay, so how big of an effect is that? This year it's probably going to be the most impactful, because it's completely new. So I might see something that I was not expecting, or even though the card pool is so small that I feel like that really limits creativity and the potential of some cards. I definitely expect to, or rather, my intention is to, since I've been practicing since Monday of NAIC, after NAIC, I'm confident in the list that I've built and the decks that I've practiced for me to be able to, whatever deck I pick from the 5, 6, 7 different options that there are that I consider decent, for me to be able to play it well. And in terms of like Mimi decks or whatever, I think there are very clear like card counters, such as Braylon, or Frozeless stuff. But I feel like none of that Mimi stuff can get past Malamar Giratina. The Giratina spam is just way too powerful, especially with the spell tax. That means the spell tax just mean the price trade-off is never favorable for you. And even if you end up playing like 4 Koopas to try to make up for it, the spell tax just eventually gets you.
Yeah.
Right.
Spell tag is gonna be good.
So I mean, that's one thing I noticed when, especially like I look into everything, and that's mostly the what everyone's thinking is single prize attackers just lose to Malmar. The 130 consistently over and over is just too much.
Yeah, and if you commit to like 4 Koopas, sure, you might beat Malamar, but you're not going to be beating much else.
Right.
That's a lot of dedicated. That's a lot of dedicated space to hard counter one deck. So I definitely think that because of such a limited card pool, the biggest target types are Mew and Mewtwo decks, Pikarom decks, Malamar in different decks, Blacephalon, Reshizard. Maybe Gardevoir Sylveon can put in a fight. I streamed Rowlet's Alolan Executor tag team the other day, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Really? I haven't even looked at it, to be honest.
At how it worked. I mean, because of the whole, I feel like the format is essentially tag teams that try to one-hit KO each other, but none of them are that great at doing it.
Right.
Yeah. So if you can get a tag team that can actually survive a lot of hits while dishing out decent damage, that works. Or in order to survive the Giratina spam, you need to be able to heal. At some point you need to be able to heal. So that's why Great Potions have made it to basically all my tag team lists. And I mentioned Rowlet and Executor because with the Leavanny, you have Gardenia, so it has that extra healing and it's attack heal.
So the Leavanny reduces by 30, correct?
By 40?
By 40?
And then you heal 30. Then you can have a choice helmet of prevented damage, right? You probably still lose to Blacephalon because they can one-hit KO you.
Yeah.
Right.
Double Blade it can one-hit KO you. But I feel like I definitely expect it to find a niche in some league cups or league challenges. It's like I feel like every tag team from the new set can actually be a competitively viable archetype. So that's pretty insane. But overall, like those 4 decks I mentioned, Dark Box, I feel like those are definitely the very clear, strong 5 decks that feel confident in that you will have made a good deck choice for Worlds. Regardless of your result, It's not like you end up playing something completely out of the loop, and then it was a terrible call and it was a terrible deck. I feel like if you go in with any of those decks and you play it well, you have a chance to do well.
Yeah. I like that. So you sit there, you're sitting day one, you're confident in your ability to play five to six decks, something around there, and you'll make that decision after day one, basically, is what.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like adaptation or improvisation or whatever is definitely a good skill to have, just for approaching any tournament, not just Worlds. Right. But yeah, this is different because I actually get the benefit of seeing what happens.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. You're just gonna play Pikarum. You're like, oh, this is still really good.
Pikarum is my number one choice, and Pikarum definitely brought me a lot of success. So I would definitely not mind at all playing Pikarum.
Right. How do you feel about the new fossil archetype with the new stadium being able to put your stage ones right onto your bench?
Yeah, I feel like if the format had not rotated, it would probably be a really good contender for Worlds. But because of no DC, the reliance on Welder, and it's like, sure, Aerodactyl GX is potentially good, or even the regular Aerodactyl is potentially good. But the Aerodactyl GX, you beat of weakness, right? But the ability, I don't think it's good enough because every single tag team deck or GX deck, the whole point of them is to get ahead in energies.
Right.
Yeah. Mewtwo is either playing Mina or Welder. Pikarum has Full Blitz, Thunder Mountain, and Dance of the Ancients. Malamar has Psychic. So it's like, other than weakness advantage, the ability is completely useless because one more energy is no big deal for the tag team decks.
Yeah.
Or Blacephalon. So it's like, against anything that doesn't have weakness, you have a mediocre 210 HP GX that's not easy to search out, not easy to get in play, and hits for 120. Can also, or should be, in my opinion, be getting healed off quite a bit. Right. So I'm really not a big fan of it at all.
What about the Archeops, the one that does 90 and discards an energy?
I don't think it'll ever. It's like, if it can't get past Pikarum and Giratina, it can't get past both or have a decent chance at beating both. And Arceus will never beat Giratina.
Right. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like anything that looks remotely viable, or that's been my my checkpoint. Yeah, unless it can stand up to those two decks. If it can only stand with one and not the other, I'm not even gonna consider it because I fully expect Malamar and Pikarum to be the top decks.
Yeah,
the most popular decks.
Yeah, it's a goal basically for tag teams and single prizes. Yeah. If you can't compete with both of them, like, you don't have a shot, pretty much. Right. Yeah, I like that. I think your headspace is great. I mean, it should be. You're obviously doing this full time. You're coaching. You've been going out
in the frame.
So I'm glad I want to see you do well. Like,
thank you.
You're doing. I'm looking at your Limitless, and like, I mean, you've been killing it for the last 3 years, basically. Last year, you won Mexico special event. You took first at Vancouver. This year, you won Sao Paulo.
If you actually put my 2017-2018 season and my 2018-2019 season next to each other, they are scarily similar. In both seasons, I got first place at a regionals.
Yes.
In both seasons, I got third place at a regionals. In both seasons, I won a special event. In both seasons, I got like a few top 16s, top 32s. It's like I was very scared when I realized that, and I have almost the exact same amount of championship points as well. I was like, well, what?
Talk about consistency.
Like the money is really close. Everything's pretty close.
Yeah. Like, if you put one next to each other, it's actually very, very
right.
close.
That's good. Yeah. That means that what you're doing is consistent. Like, you're
getting
results.
The results you want.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, you want to win
obviously
more.
You want to win everything,
more, but yeah. Well, props.
Or you can look at it as you're not improving.
No,
just
I don't know, man. Winning events. I don't know. You do it for a living. That seems like you're getting success from me. Yeah. So anyway, we'll kind of move on from that. That's good that you have that kind of ideology for Worlds, and we're really excited to see how you perform. But with every Worlds, there is new sets that are released and stuff like that. So like the upcoming Sword and Shield video game, there will be Sword and Shield packs, right? There's going to be Sword and Shield cards. There's going to be Gigamaxing, Dynamax, stuff like that, or Gigantamaxing, whatever. So let's kind of talk a little bit about that. So what's your opinion on the new game overall? Are you going to play the video game? Do you think any of those mechanics are going to incorporate themselves into the TCG, and how do you think that's going to affect it?
Well, I mean, I never expected something like tag teams. The GX attacks when they were released made sense because they're
the Z move, right?
the same as C moves. Yeah, they're Z moves with a different. I don't even know why they were not called C moves. I don't understand that marketing. That marketing approach does not make sense to me. It's like, why not?
But well, in the new set they just printed all this stuff. The Z, was it the
Z crystal thing?
Yeah, the Z crystal, and it's still just the GX move. So 100% the Z move is the GX attack.
So I'm certainly very excited. Like every time a new Pokemon game comes out, it's new Pokemon. I enjoy playing the games. And also like when I first started Tablemon, the circuit wasn't what it looked like right now. It was actually just a little bit earlier, but I was actually competing in both VGC and TCG.
Okay.
So I'm actually looking forward to. I probably don't have enough time to invest into
both.
Into both, exactly, into being competitive at both. But I'm definitely looking forward to creating content for Sword and Shield.
Awesome.
Yeah, whether it be single battles, VGC battles, but that's something that I genuinely enjoy. Yeah, just like the TCG, I enjoy the video game and I enjoy competitiveness. So I definitely look forward to that. Yeah, and I already have a capture card for my Nintendo Switch and everything. So
awesome.
I'm
looking.
definitely looking.
We might have a chance to play both. I mean, with the cups being
everything's online.
Like, dude, just get 8. Just get. Well, I'm just saying, just get your 8 cups done at the beginning of the year, dude, and then let's hit some regionals VGC, dude. Just hit me up. We'll take on these good people.
That's part of like the whole live balance thing, though. Like since I'm doing 9 hours of Pokemon 4 or 5 days a week, like I'm done with those 9 hours, and I definitely. Like before, I used to have a job, and then in my free time, I played Pokemon. Now I play Pokemon on those 9 hours, and in my free time, usually it's the last thing I want to do is play.
I'm not breeding anything, boys.
Testing with my friends and everything. Like it's Worlds, we're all making that extra push, right, to be world champion. But after Worlds, I'm definitely gonna need a small break. I'm glad there's like a month and a half between that and the first regional.
Right.
Because definitely, like, I already invest a lot of weekends into Pokemon, Cups, and everything. So even though I would love to, in terms of the life balance thing, investing even more weekends for VGC, I definitely don't see that being very viable.
Maybe for regionals, but I know they do have a lot of the events, stuff where you can generate points for a championship run. It's online based, so you can enter tournaments and do stuff like that online. So that's
there are a few, but unfortunately not enough to get you an invite or anything. But yeah, they're cool to participate in. And I actually wish, like, I once went to South Beach regionals, like in 2011 or 2012, I think, where I played TCG day 1. I did horribly, and then I played regionals for VGC on day 2 because they had them on Sunday only. And I almost made top 8 for the video game for that regional. That was a long time ago. But yeah, exactly. It's like I actually wish, because VGC is getting smaller. Right. Yeah, that's the reality, or it's stagnant. Yeah. So if they actually made VGC only on Sunday, I feel like there would be a decent amount of TCG players that wouldn't mind playing VGC. Right. Yeah. Right. The cost is a little bit prohibitive, I think. But I definitely wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I would definitely, like, if I bumped day 1, well, I wouldn't mind playing VGC regionals day 2.
I'd be right there with you. I'd be right there with you.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of the mechanics for the new game? How do you think they're going to apply to just an opinion? This is definitely theory and speculation. Yeah, but how do you think they're going to apply that to the TCG?
I mean, it seems like Gigantamaxing or Dynamaxing is more towards like Mega. It's similar to Mega Evolutions, right? So I would expect them to come up with something perhaps like the break mechanic. Yeah, I feel like the Mega Evolutions, they were cool, but the Spirit Link thing was definitely something that made them that restricted them too much. So I would expect them to work kind of like the breaks. Okay. Yeah, we've had a break mechanic before with the level X's, then it came back as breaks. So I definitely think there seems to be patterns, right, in the game. So I would definitely expect to see like huge, perhaps like level X combined with GX, right? Like a Dynamax GX guard jump, which you have to play on top of the guard jump GX or something like.
Just giant ass, like the jumbo cards you throw down.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. Or that's what I could predict, like an approach. Other than that, maybe they just become like huge basics. Like the tag teams, but they're not worth.
You play one of huge basics.
Something like that. Something like they can only be a one-off in the deck or something, worth 3 prizes, but a one-off. I don't know.
4 prizes.
Well, 4 prizes. One of 4 prizes.
If it survives 3 turns, you can just discard it, and your opponent doesn't. Any prizes?
This is a stupid broken mechanic. Oh my gosh.
Dynamax count? Yeah, maybe there will be something with a Dynamax count.
Well, Dynamax only lasts 3 turns or something, so maybe that's how it works.
Oh my gosh. Like, alright, bye, you didn't kill it, now it's gone. You screwed up. Well, I mean...
We're back.
Well, either way, I know they're gonna release it all at Worlds, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah.
Should be cool. Yeah, it's always exciting to see what new things they release at Worlds.
Right, that's like the best part. At the end of the thing, when they're like, "Pokemon Worlds 2020, Las Vegas," we can all cheer. Right?
That'd be pretty awesome. I feel like the Nashville year, I was in my room. Because I had lost top 8 the day before, so I was like, I don't really want to go on Sunday. I was kind of sad that I lost. And then so I was just watching the stream, and then I remember Anna said, "And we'll see you in Nashville." And I was like, "Huh?" Nashville?
Nashville was
like I actually had to Google.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was a fun time. Like after I saw, it's a music capital. But I was generally very confused at the end. I was like, wait, what?
So where do you think, or where would you hope to see Worlds next year?
Yeah, I mean, I would love for it to be in San Diego or California, but I feel like San Diego regionals definitely takes that away.
Right.
I would definitely love to go to Orlando again. I know it's hurricane season, so that's probably why it's never going to be there again, but I definitely wouldn't mind going to Orlando vacation.
Right.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
Hawaii would be cool, but it's also very expensive. And the Iceland they've chosen before, Kona, sucks.
Iceland?
Yeah, like you. No.
The island. Sorry, the island. Kona. Oh, I was like, Iceland?
Kona,
what?
Yeah. No. Kona, Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's like you go there for your honeymoon. You don't go there to play Pokemon with your friends.
Right.
It's like
Alaska.
This is a funny story that not many people know. In 2007, Worlds was in Kona, Hawaii. Right. Yeah, the first time it was there.
Yeah.
So, like four friends, myself and 3 others, we all won a travel award for Worlds. Yeah, so we all had a hotel for 3 nights, 4 days for Worlds, right? So we talked to Pokemon and told them, okay, instead of having each of us in a separate room for 3 nights, put us all together in the same room for 12 nights. And they agreed. Yeah,
wow.
It's the same. So we were like, oh my gosh, 2 weeks in Hawaii. And I was 18 years old back then. I was like, awesome. It would be so cool. But then we got to Kona and there was literally nothing to do. Like our coolest entertainment was being in the pool the whole day.
Yeah.
You can even go to, like, the hotel had its own lagoon, yeah, with turtles and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But after 10 days of turtles, like, the turtles get old. So one night, we were just at the pool, and I had the bright idea to climb one of the water slides, like from the bottom to the top, yeah, as a challenge. So I got to the top, right? I was like, awesome. Now I'm gonna slide back. And then when I turned to slide, I slipped and I hit my head in the back, like 2 days old, and I slid down, whatever. And then I was like, oh my gosh, my head hurts. Guys, do you see anything? And it was dark, blah, blah. No, we don't see anything. You're fine. And like, it hurt. I was like, okay, the bump. And then I dipped into the water and I came out. And like, there was blood in the water.
Oh, shit.
I cracked my head open 2 days before Worlds. And I have a scar in the back that looks like a Harry Potter lightning thing. And like, I had to be taken to the hospital. I got stitches, and so I had to play Worlds with like this weird thing in my head.
Bandage on your head.
I had to put plastic on the pillows to sleep, otherwise I would get blood on them. It was like, yeah, and like that came from there not being anything to do in Kona. Yeah,
wow.
like I
don't want to go back.
Wow.
I was broke. I couldn't even do like all the fancy trips to the helicopter ride to the volcano at 8 years old. I can't afford that, you know. So like,
and you're not,
why am I here for 2?
You can't drink because you're 18.
I can't drink. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't drink right now, but yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there's nothing. There's like that's like part of the thing. You go to Hawaii, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have a beer, chill on the beach.
There was a mall, yeah, that was like literally like 4 food stands. That was their mall, yeah, and that was it. That was literally it, yeah. So yes, Worlds in Hawaii, but have it in Honolulu, please, not in Kona.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Now I know, I'll get to Kona, play Worlds, and then stay a week in Honolulu.
Yeah,
but definitely not.
Oh my gosh! All right, well, yeah. Learn, anybody watching, and if it is in Hawaii, learn from Pablo's mistake. Oh, jeez. All right, well, that's all the time we got for this show today. But there is something we do. We've been doing an ongoing, I guess, tournament. You would say, Zach, or contest, competition. So we want you to pick your top 3 contenders for Worlds. Who you think is going to win? Essentially, first, second, and third. It's going to be a point-based system where the lowest score wins. Repeat, the lowest score wins. Okay, Sam fucked this up last time. But
so like, if you get first, you get 1 point. If you get 100th, you get 100 points. So you want the person that gets first, second, and third.
So I want to pick. Wait, what? Okay. Now
so
I get
like
it.
Like there's the ranking system. I'm not sure how many it goes to. Like day 2, you get so many people. Anybody that doesn't make day 2. You'll get
122 points.
Yeah,
or whatever,
you get 1 point plus the last one. So that's you kind of want to get the lowest score possible, which is essentially 6 points, being first, second, and third. And we are going to be giving away this awesome poster. Well, I guess it's not a poster; it's a portrait of your man, the favorite, Mr. Austin Russell.
That's awesome. Okay, but I mean, can I only choose day 2 players?
No, you can choose.
You can choose whatever you want.
Whoever you want.
You can pick anybody you want.
Can I choose myself?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
myself for first place.
Okay.
There you go. It doesn't matter what place. But
yeah.
Yes, first place.
Okay.
It's just top 3. So yeah, the placing doesn't matter as long as you finish well.
Ross Cawthon for second.
You said Ross?
Second pick. Yeah, Ross Cawthon, and then Sam Chen in third place.
Sam?
This guy has faith.
See, Sam is that guy from school who never lifts a finger, but he always aces the exam. Yeah, he's actually that guy. He's like, he never tests, he never practices. He's like 2 days before a tournament, he's like, oh, I'm finally back from Taiwan. So what up, guys? And then he goes and does well at the tournaments.
So we had him on last week, and our intro is like the guy that plays your deck better than you.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, all right. So you say you got yourself, you got Ross Gosden and Sam Chen, right?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. I think you're like, I don't think anyone's picked us, which makes it better for you in the long run, because like we have like 10 people. A lot of them picked Pedro Torres. There's a lot of people that picked Gustavo Wada. So like there could be ties with you. Yeah. You're all in, dude. If your guys are good, you win. You just win.
I have faith in myself and
Excellent.
my friends.
That's good. That's good.
Not many people pick themselves. I think we only have two others.
Yeah, you'll be the third person.
Caleb and Danny, I think.
Yeah, Caleb and Danny. Yeah.
I mean, it's just for me. I try to win every single tournament. Yeah, so for me not to pick myself, it's like
what I tell everyone. I was like, pick yourself.
I'm trying to win worlds. Yeah, if I don't win anything below first place for me is underachieving.
There you go. So. I like your mindset.
We will say that there was somebody that picked you to win.
Nice.
Yeah, and we'll be posting all of these the weekend or probably the weekend right before Worlds.
Yeah.
So next week.
I'll make a post on Payfont.
So
and we'll bring the poster to Worlds and give it out. When you get your trophy, when you're standing on the podium,
one hand with the trophy, one
with the
picture.
Oh, awesome. All right, well, we'll close it up. So are there any shout outs you want to give to the viewers and your followers?
Yeah, definitely a big shout out to everyone who follows Table One. I definitely wouldn't be able to do this without each and every one of them. Big shout out to ARG, my team. They've been really, really cool. Shout out to Potown Store as well. It's a new sponsor for the channel who's believing in the Table One project, so that's always appreciated. And especially to the people that I coach. I'm very close with a lot of them, or with all of them really. And it's always really fun to hang out at tournaments and stuff with them. So big shout out to them because they're also a big part of get to do what I do.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks again for everyone tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, we got new episodes every Friday. Don't forget to check out the merchandise below. But for now, we're going to scoop it up.